Recently got married. Honestly, I was already tired of this carefree life in constant search of adventures. Mainly, of course, because of the girls. I don't know how it is for everyone else, but for me, sitting alone for a long time, for example, more than an hour, eventually leads to thoughts that I need intimacy right now. The pleasant feeling of a body and how I make this body feel good, and it to me, and so on, until I release this wild energy. And rarely, as I understand in the best case, it happens that I do this myself. Mostly this energy can take me very far. I turn into a driven fool, and any girl can twist me around her finger. And girls are so different, I've seen a lot because of my willingness to agree to everything. Yes, they like guys like me, and very quickly they get comfortable with me. But I become less and less comfortable with them, and I run away, stay alone, and then the cycle repeats. And I need intimacy again to merge with a new person, feeling how this body trembles from my body. This experience of mine running in circles became so frequent that the time from my loneliness to merging shortened to the first meeting. I learned to pull the right strings so that girls lose their guard with me almost immediately. And I'm a good-looking guy, as many say, and I always take care of myself and my body, being into sports. In short, my confidence is also connected with the fact that I have something to show and something to surprise with. I always like their first impression, especially when she is already sure that nothing will happen, and this is my last argument, as if I pull out their most cherished sin from somewhere, and they look at it and then they are simply powerless to resist it. I love their surprise when their eyes widen from new astonishment during the process, the moment when even the wildest cat becomes a weak kitten, when she already trusts you, looks at you, and expects some other miracle, agreeing to everything, and so on. In short, for me, it is not just getting pleasure, but a whole life. I met my wife just as quickly. We had a wonderful evening and we didn't want to part for a long time, and going to my place was too much for her. So she offered to make me a bed in her living room. But in the end, she couldn't resist and got what she wanted, even though her mother was at home, who met us, despite it being very late. It was clear that she was worried about her daughter and was happy about her arrival. And she seemed glad to see me too, as it seemed to me. Honestly, I liked her mother immediately as well. I even compared the mother and daughter in my thoughts and might have chosen the mother. From this thought, my testosterone significantly increased. She easily joined us for tea at night and behaved very naturally. "This is too much for me," Dina assured me when we were resting after the first round. "You're just an easy person. You quickly found a common language with my mom, and she is a serious person, a doctor." A pleasant woman, I liked her. She tried so hard to hide her hunger so that her mother wouldn't hear, but it seemed she really needed it, and she accepted everything I offered. And I love that moment when a girl becomes completely pliable, because then I can press as much as possible, tickling her soul. Then the movements become smooth and long, maximally pleasant for both. In the morning she constantly held on to me, afraid to let me go. She moved away from me and quickly returned, pressing all parts of her body to me, not paying attention to her mother's surprised looks. But of course, her mother understood everything, that I did everything her daughter wanted. And it seemed to me that she also began to worry that I would leave and never come back. The mother became extremely polite to me and even invited me to dinner today. Yes, an experienced woman. I understood the trick of the adult woman. Yes, I hadn't fully enjoyed the moment yet. I still really wanted to be with Dina. I was drawn to her. Therefore, when the mother peeked into Dina's room before leaving, Dina was sitting on me. "Oh, Mom." Dina jumped up and began to fuss. In the fuss, she didn't realize she had exposed me. Only a few seconds later did she realize and cover me. But it was too late. I saw her mother's eyes on me and how her eyes sparkled. For some reason, we went out to see her mother off a few minutes later. "I expect you tonight, young man," said Dina's mother in a different, mysterious voice. We parted too. I was completely satisfied, and also the fact that tonight I would have a delicious dinner, and not just that. In such moments, I feel completely free. For some reason, I even worried a little that two women were eagerly waiting for me somewhere, and I thought about them all day. Strangely, I thought equally much about Dina and her mother, even a bit more about the mother. I thought about what a good person she is and how normally she reacted to everything. and how sensibly she acted, caring about her daughter's pleasure and inviting me for the evening so I could do the same again. Amazing. Maybe it was what she saw, although it happened later. Why did her eyes sparkle like that, and what did she think? Or maybe because for me, thoughts about an older woman were strange. Or maybe Dina had touched my soul so much. I don't know, but I thought about them all day, until the moment Dina rushed into my arms, as if I were her husband and I had been gone for a month. Dina's mother was dressed in a way that highlighted all her most beautiful features. She hugged me and kissed me on the cheek, as if we had known each other for a long time. I felt her pleasant perfume and her fourth-sized chest, which she therefore didn't hide and boldly wore clothes with a deep neckline. Dina was the epitome of sexuality today. Her clothes were such that you could probably take them off with one movement. But the most sexual thing was that she very much wanted to take it all off for me quickly, so I could enjoy her beautiful body. The dinner was excellent. They managed to show how great hostesses they were. I even wanted to talk more with the mother because she exuded wisdom and experience. But Dina pulled me to a secluded place. I was surprised at myself, how strong I was today. I don't know what happened, but Dina brought out all my best sides. And the presence of an adult but unattainable woman for me also intensified my passion. And no matter how Dina tried to hold back, her mother couldn't help but hear her moans. I did everything to make it heard. I came the next day, and then again and again. In the end, after some time, unnoticed by myself, I stayed and was already walking around the house like the head. But surprisingly, I was supported and approved in everything. And if Dina sometimes began to doubt, her mother always suggested to Dina that I was right. Soon Dina became simpler in her attitude towards me. Her constant admiration for me ceased. But I'm not a narcissist, and it always surprises me when people admire me. So without it, I feel somehow calmer. Of course, unless it's intimate, there I demand all the emotions. Eventually, I felt a kind of peace in this house. It seemed to me I was in the state I wanted to be. Here, I feel everything: intimacy, reciprocity, and my sense of self-importance is fully satisfied. Dina truly loved me, despite everything, and her mother did not interfere with us at all. On the contrary, her presence always inspired me. Dina's mother is a private doctor on call. She offered me to be her assistant. I couldn't refuse because for now, I'm no specialist and basically a loafer, because no one takes me as a director, and I don't want to be a loader. And actually, the job seemed interesting to me. Always on the move, as I like people, and such a subtle psychologist as my future mother-in-law. Yes, I had already decided, and literally a week later, I probably already called her mom. Well, I haven't had a mom for a long time, and she would be an ideal replacement. And it seemed to me that she was even proud of her new son. My mother-in-law and I traveled far and wide. I was with her much more than with Dina. I would say, Dina is my night woman, and my mother-in-law is my daytime woman. She fed me excellently, always caring about it. And I, like a good male, ate a lot, and this was very important for me. I wasn't just a driver. I could continue any idea, and soon we even started a small business that didn't require much involvement related to real estate. She was definitely pleased with me. I suggested buying a car with all the living conditions just in case, and my mother-in-law agreed. And in this way, we could expand our work area. With such work, you still need quality rest because of the responsibility and worries. In the end, our orders became for long distances, having concluded a contract with a resort area. And once we decided to relax and rest, sauna, pool, nature, we didn't want to leave so much, and a little alcohol that we decided to leave only in the morning. Moreover, we didn't need sleeping places. We had everything with us. We tried sleeping places for two for the first time. Usually we slept in shifts. We quickly undressed and lay down. She moved closer to me without hesitation and hugged me maternally, planning to fall asleep quickly, to leave early. So we lay for some time, but there was no sleep. "Are you asleep, Ee?" my mother-in-law asked. "Can't sleep." "Yeah, me neither. But we need to somehow fall asleep." And she turned to the other side. I found the courage to turn and hug her this time. I didn't press too close because, knowing myself, I could quickly start imagining things. And it happened, and although I wasn't that close to her, I still touched her and lay in a cold sweat because I couldn't even move. What is pressing? She put her hand and seemed to take a long time to understand, but it was already darkening in my eyes. I just silently waited for the events to unfold. Gradually, her hand movements became more meaningful, and I realized that she was just studying me and making it even hotter. So everything was fine, and I took a breath. That night, everything happened. I was a toy in experienced hands. It was incredible. I had to try very hard to feel her as a weak woman. But when this break happened, I saw a weak girl who needed love very much, and I just went wild from the weakness of a strong woman and gently tormented her half the night. She wasn't ready for this, but she wanted it very much. And I don't need to be asked when I understand what a woman wants, especially when this woman means a lot to me. We didn't talk about it for a long time, as if nothing had happened. I'm not used to starting to talk, and she probably tried to understand what happened. But the moment came, and she acted wisely again, and we easily overcame it, while keeping all the pleasure from each other. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments what you liked. Subscribe to our storytelling podcast. Also, don't forget to like and ring the bell so you don't miss more interesting stories. See you soon.